Hello everyone, Mama Southern and Blessed here. Good morning. I am just in my kitchen right now. Just came home from dropping my son off. It is snowing. It is cold today compared to yesterday. And so I just am going to talk to you guys while I cook breakfast. I just had some things on my mind. And I just wanted to share what you guys know I like to do. But I was watching, I think on my last video I had shared, I saw a video from Urban Disciples. He posted about a guy named Breeden McLean or something like that. And I will post a link in the description box of this person who I'm talking to, but really, you guys probably don't even want to watch it. But anyway, it's not even a video you would want to watch, but just who he is or whatever. His videos are supposed to be basically be based on art. He's supposed to be an artist and all this other stuff. But anyway, so me and my husband were talking about that, and then I started watching Black Ink Crew. Now, I'm not really a TV hype person. Like, I used to watch all those Black Ink. I never was an Empire watcher. As you can see, I like tattoos. So, I used to watch it for that and different things like that. And so, you know, I just got turned off from all that stuff because, you know, after a while, you like, what is this? You know, yeah, it's entertainment, but it's also like, the more you watch it, the more you get desensitized to the breaking down of the morals, how society is being broken down, and just how everything is just, you know, just being broken down in such a way. And I was like watching it, and I was like, it's messed up because, you know, being that our kids go to school in the world, you know, when they go to school, their friends are talking about, hey, did you watch such and such? Oh, did you see this? Oh, did you see that? Oh, it's crazy. And it seems so interesting to your kids, you know what I'm saying? Because they begin to feel like they're missing out and stuff like that. And then what happens is that your children, they go and they start watching these things and stuff. And the next thing you know, they're desensitized, or they're curious, or they're thinking that, you know, this is the way life is supposed to really go because it's on TV, so it must be okay. You know what I'm saying? Because they're thinking, well, if it's on TV, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Until they get older and get a conviction, you know, they think it's okay. And also, if we don't teach them, because, you know, the reality is that children learn what they live. And so I just sitting back thinking, I was just like, it's a shame, you know, because I was brought up in a household. You know, I got saved when I was young. My mother had me in church and stuff like that. But I was brought up into a household where, you know, even though my mother and father wasn't together, I still had my grandparents. So I had my mother's mother who lived in who stayed at home. She was a homemaker. And then I had my grandfather who took care of home. None of his kids wanted for anything. He married my grandmother who already had children, and he took care of hers. So I grew up around, you know, a responsible household, you know. And so, you know, I was around my grandparents until they passed away, you know. And then my father's parents, you know, mother and father were together. And that's what I seen. That's what I was brought up in. I wasn't raised around, you know, a lot of homosexuality. Like, it wasn't in my face. You know, there were certain things I saw that I know wasn't necessarily good for me as a child, but, you know, because God had his hand on my life, you know, there was a lot of things I was protected from. You know, there were some things that I experienced, but there were also things that I see where God protected me in that. And so it's like, you know, as parents, we need to understand that we have to try and be more responsible. We have to really depend on God to take care of us, to set us up in a way so that our children could be taken care of and they could be looked after and looked after safely and stuff like that. Because right now, you know, the devil is out to tear up the mindsets of the people. You know, just like a predator preys on children when they're young, that's the spirit of the enemy. He preys on us when we're young. And then as we get older, he tries to, you know, convince us through different avenues that this is the way life is supposed to be, and this is okay, and that is okay. And especially if it goes against God, especially if it goes against the way God created this place to be. And as we know, you know, the days are getting more and more evil. So, you know, we really have to be aware. And like I said, like, you know, none of us is perfect. You know, we have to be on point, because at any given moment, the enemy comes to try and test us and try and get us outside of the will of God. And it's not easy. It is a battle every day. I don't care what nobody says. You know, spiritual warfare is a constant battle in your mind, what goes on around you, you know, in your life in a whole. It is a constant fight. It ain't just, oh, I got this miracle and this happened. No, the Bible does tell us joy comes in the morning, but that at the same time, there's still a dark place. You know what I'm saying? In the nighttime, it's dark. You know what I'm saying? You need a light to see your way around. You need street lights. You might need a flashlight. You might need to turn on a light in your room. So you got to constantly turn on the light in your mind, because we are surrounded by darkness. We are surrounded by darkness, and we have to be made aware of that we are in the last days. When we send our kids to school, they are surrounded by darkness. Why? Because there's no conviction. You understand what I'm saying? They have taken prayer out the schools. They have taken God out of everything. It's not about a religion. It's about taking God with you wherever you go. You take somebody with you wherever you go. That's your friend. That's your buddy. You have a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying? And so when you take God out of things, it becomes a very dark place. I don't care how important people say school is. We are living in the last days. I'm not even talking about 2017, what the time is. Yeah, it's February 9th, 2017, 10:27 in the morning. Does that matter to God? No, it doesn't, because he's outside of time. He's outside of all that. He's the beginning and the end of every situation. You understand what I'm saying? And so when we get to a point and we realize how important it is for us to be a light in that dark place, we begin to change the way we live our life, especially if you're parents and you have children, because it's like there's so much going on in the world. You want the best for your children, but you don't just want the best for them materialistically. You don't want to put them in a nice house and nice clothes, but not have a relationship with them. Buy them whatever computer, whatever phone they want, whatever toy they want, and not have a relationship with them. Never sit down and ask them how their day is. Never begin to read your children's emotions and be able to discern what is going on with your children. Do you understand how important that is? It is important for us, the parents, to step our game up, to understand. We can't just be fly off the night, oh, you did, yelling at your children all the time. You got to come to your children. We all got to learn. We all got to learn that we got to come to our children with more grace in these dark times. Because if me being born in 1980, if the spiritual battle is hard for me sometimes, where I feel like quitting, imagine them. Because now these kids have had everything handed to them, so it's like they don't have no resilience. It's like they just want to quit at the drop of the dime. Oh, my friend has an iPhone 7 and I only have an Android. Oh, my life is over. This the generation we dealing with. Okay? This is the generation we are dealing with. We're dealing with a generation of children who don't understand what it is to have to fight through certain situations. They think everything comes easy. You know, especially my children. I look at my children, me coming from New York City, okay? I used to have to walk through the snow, okay, to the bus. And I'm talking about snow used to be practically to my knees almost. They ain't closed school. And we had to take the bus, okay? I took the cheese bus. I call it the cheese bus. That comes and gets my children here, where I'm at in Delaware. Listen, I only had that through elementary school. Once you go to junior high school, listen here. They give you your bus pass and your bus route. Our bus used to be called the special, okay? And the special was when you got to the Ave or certain places where that particular bus catered to your junior high school, you tried to make that bus because all your friends and everybody used to be on there. You wouldn't be on there with a whole bunch of strangers. You coming from elementary school, going to junior high school, you know, so you kind of nervous. But if you missed that special, You better know how to get on that bus, whether it's the Q36, the Q34, because I used to take the 34. The Q34 to Bayside. You missed the special, then guess what? You know what I mean? You got to be on a bus with a whole bunch of strangers. So you better know how to sit there straight face. You know what I mean? And you better know how to sit there straight face and be like, yo, listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even make no eye contact. You know, it's just crazy. Like, you had to be responsible. And I'm glad that God, you know, gave me, my mother had me to have a personal relationship with God to show me how to pray and not to be afraid. And at times I was fearful, you know. But I look at my kids. I wake them up. All they do is walk around the corner to the bus. The bus comes and gets them all the way through high school. My 18-year-old gets up in the morning and catches the bus. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these kids, they you know, they just, it's a shame because school is not preparing them. School doesn't prepare them for what, you know, they're going to be going through in life. You know, it's just a whole bunch of lies. It's just a whole bunch of propaganda. And there's an agenda. It's control. It's almost like they're preparing the kids for jail or something. The way they treat them. The food they feed them and different things like that. And how they want everybody to learn the same. And everything is based on testing. And if you don't test or learn like the next person, they want to put you on all types of special programs and stuff like that, you know? So it's crazy because this is the world we live in. We got to be a light in a very dark place. It's a very, very, very dark place we are living in. And we have to take the responsibility as parents not to always worry about money. And I know, listen, I know we have to survive. But God will make a way. If you just trust him, he will make a way. It might be somebody watching this video right now saying, you know what, you go out to work every day and, you know, you work far and God has convicted you because you know you need to be close to your children or something like that. Just pray and ask God because, listen, what he orders, he pays for. A lot of times we try to do things in our own strength and he'll sit back and let us. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows us. He knows that eventually we're going to come to him and be like, God, you know what? I messed up. I really need you. What am I supposed to do? What can I do? You know what I mean? But the kids, they really need us in this day and time. They don't need us being hypocrites or acting like we ain't never been through nothing and, you know, giving them a hard time. Yeah, we do have to discipline them, but we need to understand that they're not, when they go to school and they spend all, that's another trick of the enemy. When they spend it all day in school and stuff that they're not learning about God. They're not learning about what's going on or what's to come. You understand what I'm saying? That's for us to teach them. That is for us to teach them. I don't usually put salt in my age, but that's for us to teach them. You know what I'm saying? What they need to be prepared for. So, you know, as parents, you know, it ain't easy because, you know, sometimes the kids be like, Mommy, why can't I watch this? Why can't I watch this? Especially the teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Like my son, my 13-year-old, every time I come downstairs, I'm catching him tuning in to Love and Hip Hop and different things like that. And I'm like, really? Are you serious? And I can tell he has a conviction. He knows he's not supposed to be watching it because I come downstairs and he'll be acting like he's sleeping or something like that. You know what I mean? The kids know because they're innocent. They know right from wrong. If you sit down and you talk to a child because they're innocent, then you're going to get the truth from a child for how they really feel because they're innocent. And they don't intend to hurt you. But they say things out of their heart, straight from their heart. The Bible says out of the mouth of babes. You listen to your children. They tell you how they really feel. Especially if you're one of those who have to be out at work. You have to provide. Single mother, a lot of times both parents is not home. You know what I'm saying? So kids really have to hold it down. So if you're that type of parent, you need to sit down and you need to talk to your kid and you need to see what's really going on. Like, is everything good at school? You good? Do you need me? How do you feel when mommy and daddy is not here? Is there separation anxiety? Is everything good? You know, their siblings might have friends. Their older siblings might have friends. You can't trust everybody in your house. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to be vocal with your kids because you don't know if somebody might be doing something to them. You don't know, and you have to use your discernment. You know what I'm saying? You can't just drop your kids. It's like, it's crazy because it's like people drop their kids anywhere. Listen, I'm not judging. I'm just saying I know that it's hard. But at the same time, we got to go to God and we got to use discernment and pray for help. Pray for direction. Because God knows. And always pray that God will protect you and yours from danger seen and unseen. Because at this point right now, we don't know what's what is who's who. But we know that the powers that be are evil. We know that the elite is evil, and they always got something up their sleeve, and God knows that as well. The same thing with the chemtrails. Why he said it in the word. He said, in the last days, we won't even be able to tell what season it is. It was hot yesterday, and it was cold today. It's cold today and snowing. A blizzard, practically. So with that said, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I'll be back with another video, I'm pretty sure. But until then, you guys have a blessed day.